Conor McGregor suing Sky News for defamation. Former MMA fighter Conor McGregor is suing Sky News for defamation for calling him a rapist after Nikita Hand won her civil action against him last year. I'm hoping this article is going to go into it. It might not, but if it doesn't, I'll go into it at the end. A jury at the High Court found that Mr. McGregor assaulted Miss Hand by raping her in a hotel room in Dublin in December 2018 and awarded her almost €250,000 in damages. But it's very important to point out that this was a civil case, not a criminal case. The police said there's not enough evidence of this whatsoever, and they pointed out some certain things which suggested that she might be lying. Right, and that's why they decided to not pursue charges against him. The Court of Appeal rejected Mr. McGregor's appeal against the finding in its entirety and ordered him to pay the costs of the case, believed to be around €1.5 million. Mr. McGregor's lawyers asked the High Court for permission to serve legal papers on Sky News in the UK for an alleged defamation which he claims happened in the immediate aftermath of the trial. The action has been initiated just 2 days before the legal time limit to take the case runs out. Mr. McGregor's senior counsel, Paul O'Higgins, told the court that on 22nd November last year, there was an encounter between Mr. McGregor and Sky News outside the court. I had a very similar situation with, what was his name? Was it James Matthews? That was the wee baldy fucker that I completely bodied outside the Sheriff Court. Fun times. According to Mr. McGregor, this involved a reporter allegedly calling out to him through a media scrum that he was a rapist. Mr. O'Higgins said the alleged words amounted to defamation of his client, as Mr. McGregor had been found by the jury to be civilly liable for the assault. In an affidavit, Mr. McGregor said the Sky News reporter called out to him, "Excuse me, Mr. McGregor, you're a rapist. Have you any reaction or apology to the woman at the centre of this?" Mr. O'Higgins said the reporter's words were broadcast on Sky on 22nd November 2024, could be found online and amounted to defamation that occurred in this jurisdiction. Mr. O'Higgins says that he was before the court because the time limit for bringing a defamation case is 1 year, which he said would expire. It would expire this Saturday, 22nd November 2025. He added it was only in exceptional circumstances that this could be extended. Mr. O'Higgins, that's true. Basically, if the defamation is still ongoing, that can actually be extended like a lot longer. If the person is still saying it and you've got evidence of them still saying it and you've got witnesses and statements and all that, you can actually extend it as much as you want. At least in Britain, I don't know specifically how it works in Ireland. Mr. O'Higgins says that because two of the intended defendants were outside the jurisdiction, High Court permission was needed so that those two plenary summonses could be issued to begin proceedings. Miss Justice Mary Rose Gertie said she would grant the application for the service of the documents and was told they would be issued by tomorrow. One of the grounds raised and rejected in Mr. McGregor's appeal of the High Court jury's findings was that the jury was asked only if Mr. McGregor assaulted Miss Hand. And that's a very important thing. Assaulted Miss Hand. Not raped, not sexually assaulted, assaulted. And he was convicted of that. And everybody went, he was found guilty of rape. And he wasn't found guilty of rape. He was found, guilty of assault, and it wasn't in a criminal court. He has no criminal charges. This had nothing to do with the police. This was a civil trial. It's the same as suing someone. Right? So that's the huge difference here. That the question did not specify sexual assault and that the jurors may have been confused by what they were deciding. This was rejected by the Court of Appeal, which found that there could be no doubt on the part of any member of the jury that the question they were answering was whether or not Mr. McGregor assaulted Miss Hand by raping her. That's not what happened. That isn't how it went. The court said the judge could not have been any clearer in explaining this. The Court of Appeal, then why not call it rape or sexual assault? You specifically call it assault in all of the court documents. Also, I'll go into the end. I don't think they're going to talk about the shit that happened. The Court of Appeal found the judge made it quite clear that even though the question for the jury referred to assault, the case was about whether or not Mr. McGregor raped Miss Hand. The ruling also stated that the suggestion by Mr. McGregor's side that despite the constant references by the judge to the claim that he raped Miss Hand, the jury assessed damages on the basis that the assault was not a sexual one, was fanciful. It said, given the judge's repeat reference to the assault on Miss Hand being nothing other than the alleged rape of Miss Hand, no member of the jury could have been in any doubt about what the question meant. And by the way, the problem with civil trials as well is the barrier for evidence is extremely fucking low. And the entire thing, the entire evidence was just this one statement by that. She was the only witness. It was just her. So basically, if a woman just wants to absolutely annihilate your life, she can just go do that. All it takes is one witness, the woman. In civil court, at least. The barrier for evidence in criminal court's much higher. In civil court, so did she cry really loudly? Oh, fuck, then it must be true. It must be true. Mr. McGregor is awaiting a decision from the Supreme Court as to whether or not it will hear a further appeal from him. Now, here's what I think about this entire thing. Now, I am all for protecting women from rapists, right? Fuck rapists, bury them under the jail, right? All for that. If a man's a genuine rapist, he should go to prison. However, a lot of women fucking lie about that shit, and this woman is lying. She is absolutely lying about this crap. She says that McGregor came up behind her and got her in a fucking rear naked choke, and apparently was going, now you know how I felt in the octagon. Like, fucking, that did not happen. That didn't fucking happen. And also, the night after that the alleged rape took place, they were walking out the hotel holding hands and cuddling and kissing each other and ha ha ha, and very, very strange behaviour for a woman that's allegedly been raped. And everything, you'd think you would immediately fucking go to the police or anything, or cry for help or any of that shit, like, but no, she's been all touchy. I mean, it's really, really weird to be very, very affectionate and touchy-feely and then immediately go out for dinner later that day with the man who apparently raped you. That's very, very strange behaviour. And right, and that's just a few of the things, it's just what I can remember, right? And the police looked at all of that and went, yeah, we're not going to bring any charges. But the problem with civil court is you need to pay for all that shit. The civil court doesn't give a fuck what you bring in front of it. They're like, money? Yeah, you can sue your fucking cat if you want, man. That's fine, just as long as you fucking pay us. And right, that's the problem. And also the barrier for evidence in civil court is fucking really, really low. Right, and that's what a lot of people do, is it basically, you see how they say it's much easier to get a guilty verdict in the court of public opinion, because everybody's very, very desperate to see a downfall, or they just want to attack someone or whatever. In civil court, that's also true. The barrier for evidence in there is extremely low, and the only evidence was the statements of this woman. So here's my theory. Here's my fucking theory, right, because I know people personally that this has happened to. Famous people and just everyday Joes, right? And it's ranged from things to they started dating a girl, things were going very well, and then the guy just kind of like ghosted them, a little bit of a hump and dump, a little pump and jump, a little. No, I think I've ran out. I know more, but I'm not well and I'm tired, right? But I know loads of people, and it could be a case of the girl really wanted to date them, they slept together, and the guy went, oh, I'm not actually looking for anything right now. Or the guys just broke up with them, or the guys just like broke up with the girl, or they're in the middle of a fucking divorce or something like that, and it's basically the woman wants to get back at the guy. I wanted to date you, or how dare you break up with me, or how dare you do this, blah, 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 so I'm going to make up a bunch of lies to destroy your life. Many such cases. Many, many such cases. And I know a guy whose fucking life was utterly annihilated by it until it came out in court that the girl was lying. And he had all of his charges dropped, very fortunately, and nothing happened to the girl. Nothing happened to the girl at all. But I know other people that have had their lives completely destroyed by these accusations, right? And so I'm just saying, genuine cases of rape, absolutely charge them and stuff like that. Unfortunately, there are a lot of fucking psychotic women out there that will just make that shit up because there's a guy whose life they want to destroy. That's just a thing that happens, right? It's a sad fact of life. Women lie about this shit all the time. So I think that Conor's probably doing the whole, yeah, I'm the fucking famous, yeah, fucking come up to the hotel room, fucking sort my day, like fucking like that shit, right? I think that's what's happened. I'll totally leave my wife. Over my fucking accent shit. But basically, like, I think it was a case of, I'll totally leave my wife for you. Oh God, I love you. Oh, you're so amazing. Blah, blah, blah. And then ended up, he went back on that, and she went, we'll see about that, and she's decided to fuck his life up. I believe that's what's happened, right? I don't believe this girl. I don't believe this girl. Look, the mainstream places aren't going to report on it, right? Because they're like, yeah, fuck Conor McGregor. He says a bunch of right-wing stuff and he's anti-immigration. So they're just going to like lie by omission to not talk about that, the really, really contentious stuff in the case, right? So they're going to make him look like a rapist. That's what they're going to do. Right, but yeah, see if you go in and read the actual fine details of the case. Like, I'm sorry, but that woman is fucking lying.